The villagers in Manado Tua first came to me with this idea, this request to rehabilitate their reefs in March of 2003. Throughout Southeast Asia, one of the most destructive fishing methods which has been developed is that of bomb fishing. The fishermen will use explosives to stun fishes in the water. Unfortunately, when the explosive goes off, it frequently also destroys the reef framework and blows any coral pieces into tiny bits of rubble. They came to me with a strong interest in doing something about this one particular area of reef that at one time, 30+ years ago, was a very productive fishery region for them. It was bombed and never recovered to the point that there was really no fish there. I immediately thought of Seacology, who has been running projects in Indonesia now for the last 8 years or so. And it struck me that this was a perfect situation for a quid pro quo agreement between Seacology and the Manado Tua villagers. Very quickly it was approved. That's one of the beauties of Seacology. And by December of 2003, the Seacology funded modules, EcoReef modules, had made it here. The construction of the EcoReefs was done by everyone in the village, from kids on up to grandmas. Then the dive operators from all of Bunaka National Park came there and donated their time and their guest time to install these reefs. And it was just a very good, feel-good community participatory event. If you look at the Manado Tua site now, 4 years on, it's changed dramatically in terms of the overall topography. It used to be just simply a flat sloping rubble field. Now with the clusters, you've created dips and the rubble is no longer this unhappy place for baby corals. As such, what we're seeing now, we're seeing baby corals which have grown on the EcoReefs, but they've also started settling and growing in those intervening areas. And that really is the key to long-term rehabilitation, obviously, because we want the whole area to turn back into a reef. In the course of doing this rehabilitation, one thing which we did attempt to do is to transplant some corals to kind of jumpstart the process. And one particular coral, which I have a fondness in my heart for, there was a baby table coral, which during the time of the rehabilitation, the installation, we saw it was really on its last legs. It was bleached, it had been knocked off, it was laying in the sand, about to die. And so I thought, well, it still has some chance. I picked that up and I wedged it in to one of the EcoReef modules. I was particularly delighted to see now, close to 4.5 years on, that table coral not only recovered, it is thrived and is now about 2 meters across in diameter. So that's kind of, my orphan coral out there, which I'm very pleased to see such good progress with it.
Sebelum ada karang buatan ini EcoReef, sebelumnya di depan gereja sana memang tidak ada karang sama sekali, dan itu pasir, tidak ada karang. Dan sekarang ketika ada karang buatan atau EcoReef, sekarang sudah karangnya jadi bagus, dan di situ saya lihat ikannya sudah mulai banyak.
When you see that enthusiasm and this wholesale change in the way that they view their reefs and their natural resources, that's really what it's all about for someone who works in conservation. And I'm just delighted that this Seacology project was able to have that effect in this village.